Yes, people, how's it going? Welcome back to Lily White Lane. Tottenham Hotspur versus Leeds this Saturday, 12:30 kickoff. We are here to preview that on this Friday night. I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend and smashing Friday night. Finally, the bloody weekend's here. After all the banter we've had to take from Chelsea and Arsenal fans on Thursday and Friday, at work, at school, we finally have a chance to stop that banter and walk into work or school on Monday morning and hopefully banter them and finally talk about 3 points for Tottenham Hotspur. Because look, that's what we all love and that's what we all want from this Saturday. As the boys are set to travel away from home at Eden Road. Our away form was good until we went and ballsed it all up against Burnley. But anyway, massive game, huge game. Whether you want to believe we're in a title race, I wish we were. Whether you want to believe if we're in a top four race or not, the table tells you we are. We're 7 points off top four with 2 games in hand. We play first this weekend away from Southampton Norwich. We're the first of the teams you would consider to be in the top four race to play this weekend. West Ham play Wolves. That's a tough game. One of those teams is going to chop points, if not both of them. Huge game for top four. Arsenal don't play this weekend, right? Manchester United are probably the only team I'd expect or, predict to go on and get all 3 points pretty easily against Watford. And even Roy Hodgson can turn that around like they did earlier in the season under Ranieri. So look, it's definitely a weekend where we need 3 points. Whether you want to believe we're in a top four race or not, we are. We're 7 points off top four with 2 games in hand over Manchester United in 4th. So look, we need to take this opportunity. We need to take this opportunity of playing first on the weekend and putting the pressure on the other side. And look, you can't really judge a game by the opposition's form. We saw it against Burnley, as I say, haven't been good all season, but they took on Spurs, they settled down, they had a fantastic game plan and they executed it brilliantly. Now, Leeds United, as I say, Tottenham Hotspur's opposition this Saturday have been on absolutely terrible form. Terrible form, getting battered and conceding goals week in, week out, constantly. 4-2 against Manchester United, 6-0 loss against Liverpool, 3-0 loss against Everton, 7-0 loss against Manchester City. On paper, we should go on and batter these. But on paper, we should score about 4 or 5 goals with the quality we do have up top. They're basically, when you look at them and the style of play they play, they're basically Manchester City, but worse. They press and have the exact same playing style, or a very similar one to Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, yet they have nowhere near a good enough manager or players to execute it well enough. So the players are absolutely knackered and are being overused, as I say, and overplayed. They're knackered. They're not believing in the team. They're getting battered week in, week out. Their manager's under pressure. People are talking about their manager getting sacked. We should, and probably will, and I hope we do, go on and get all 3 points at Ellen Road with the state they're in. But you never can just say, yeah, it's an easy 3 points, because it is Tottenham Hotspur. We know what Spurs are like before. When a team plays Spurs, they've been on bad form and they get a win against us, and that's when they change their season. Even Burnley did it midweek. So look, we can't just expect 3 points this Saturday. But I think with our game plan, I think with our playing style, we should go on and win this game. Like I say, Leeds, they've been on very poor form. They've been conceding goals left, right and centre. They leave so much space open at the back. They press nowhere near as well as Manchester City, and they commit far too many players forward, that they just lose every single game. And the stubbornness of Bielsa could possibly cost them their place in the Premier League, in all honesty, because he's so stubborn to stick to one tactic, and that's attack the opposition, whoever it is, no matter what players are injured or what players are fit, just attack the opposition. And as entertaining as it can be, for an armchair viewer such as me and you, watching this video, watching Bielsa's Leeds going, oh, that's brilliant, that's what we love to see, entertaining football. It's horrific for Leeds fans. They're watching their team get battered every single week by Liverpool, by United, by Everton. 3-0 to Everton. Who concedes 3 goals to Everton? That's a joke. So we look at this Saturday, we see that we need 3 points, and I think we will get it. I'm predicting, I don't think it'll be easy for Spurs. I'm going to go for a 3-2 Spurs win. I think Leeds will test us, and I think with our defensive midfield at the minute, Bentancur's injured for 3 weeks. That's the latest news from Dan Kilpatrick, a very reliable source, and Alistair Gold and people within the club. So look, they are going to be able to exploit our midfield. The way that you beat Leeds is by having a strong midfield, a strong defence, by counter-attacking their pressure. And if you've got quality up top, you should win. But, even Chelsea made some bad defensive mistakes against Leeds, and they did take them. Manchester United made some bad defensive mistakes against Leeds. They took them, and they were lucky to go on and get the 3 points. But look, it's going to be another game with horrific conditions, horrible conditions. It's up north, it's raining. And look, all I can hope for is a massive 3 points. A massive 3 points for our season and a massive 3 points for Antonio Conte. The players need to go out there and perform for the manager. Now, let's move on to Conte's press conference quickly. I was watching Antonio Conte's press conference, and it seems to me what I thought it mainly always was. People going, oh, Conte's going to walk, Conte's going to walk. I questioned it after the Burnley game, the way he was conducting himself. But at the end of the day, we've got to understand, he's probably done this loads in Italy. He's done it everywhere he goes. He's a very, very emotional man. He can't stand losing. He can't stand his own ego being hurt, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. He cannot stand losing. And he even came out in his press conference and sort of apologised and basically said, well, don't interview me when I'm angry, because I'm not the sort of guy you want to go to dinner with after we lose the game. And for me, that's a good thing. We're so used to people like Ryan Mason, I'm not massively slagging him off, but Nuno just kissing Daniel Levy's arse and the clubs and pretending that everything's good and everything's jolly when we lose a game and saying, yeah, well, at least we showed passion. Whereas Conte has that expectation. He has that ambition. Losing a game, it doesn't matter about how good or bad the performance is. He wants to bloody win. And I love that from a Spurs manager. I really do. I thought the way he conducted himself in the post-match interview against Burnley was very, very poor. I thought it was very unprofessional. And I didn't like it. I thought he whined and moaned and was more fussed about his own ego. But now you look back on that, and I'm still angry about the way he conducted himself, but it's a good thing that he is. Whether we like it or not, Spurs fans, or whether Conte's right or wrong to go on a massive moan and whine after every game, you've got to admit he showed more ambition than Ryan Mason or Nuno or the club has since Jose Mourinho came in. And I just, probably since Poch came in, and I look on that now. Of course, he could have conducted himself better in that interview. He's even sort of come out and apologised about how he did, but it's good to see that sort of winning mentality being presented at Tottenham Hotspur. And I think with his style of play, it doesn't work against the Burnley when you want to really pressurise the opposition. But I think with a 3-4-3 against Leeds, like against Manchester City, it can really work. It really will work. Leeds, it's not as such, they could change up their playing style. They could play defensive football. It's not going to go down like that. We all know it's not going to go down like that. Bielsa's a very, very stubborn man. He is going to defend. No, I've got it completely wrong. Bielsa's a very stubborn man. He is going to attack with no regret. And we don't need to make this any harder we don't need to make this harder than it actually is. You've got to look at it on paper and say it should be quite easy, this game. Just show discipline in defence, show discipline in midfield, hold up the ball nicely. If you can counter-attack half as well as you did against Manchester City, we can absolutely destroy these lot. But look, we'll wait and see what happens. Bentancur out, Skip out. The midfield is going to be a massive weakness. And that's how teams have stopped Leeds scoring goals this season. The likes of Liverpool, because they've got the likes of Fabinho in midfield, who can really hold up, play nicely, and put in a challenge when they got pacey players cutting inside to the middle, because that's what they like to do. They like Dan James and Rafinha to cut inside to the middle. That's the way they hurt the opposition teams, and it is a bit of a worry. It is a bit of a worry when they've got midfielders as well in there, people like Click and whatever, who can drive through that midfield and take a decent enough shot. And they'll definitely be given space to. I hate admitting it, but with Harry Winks and Højbjerg in there, they'll definitely be given space to. Højbjerg is a very good player, but only if he's got someone quality next to him. Very similar to Eric Dyer, or very similar to Davinson Sanchez in many instances. He's got to have that quality next to him. Otherwise, he's really poor. Him and Skip, absolutely fantastic. Him and Bentancur, absolutely fantastic against City. And as soon as you could see that second half, Bentancur off, Winks off, we looked toothless in that midfield. Burnley defended in their midfield and attacked in their midfield. That's the way they operated in that game. And their midfield is what won them the game against us. Their midfield is what earned them free kicks. And look, it's so important that we conduct ourselves right in this game, and that Harry Winks and Højbjerg make it work. But look, I think we will get chances. There's no doubt about it. And I think if we're half as clinical as we were against City, like I said, we should be winning this game. My score prediction, like I say, I'm going to go for a 3-2 Tottenham Hotspur. Thank you for watching this match preview. Take care, all the best, God bless, and as always, come on you Spurs, in Conte we trust. Let's get back to winning ways. Enoch out.